Now, I've seen the following very false theory all over the place. Indeed, in so many places that I believe some Kenyans have started believing it is true. And it is the following theory, that actually President Uhuru Kenyatta is playing Raila Odinga. He's still very close to DP Ruto. And the president is just acting, like in a movie. A Kenyan movie, not a Nigerian one. And when the right time comes, the president will dump Raila Odinga like a sack of potatoes. I'm sure you've heard that theory. It's all over the place. Now recently, when I was rubbishing this ridiculous theory to somebody, they listened carefully to what I had to say. And then, at the end, they asked me a simple question. Where did this thing come from, Kumekucha? Because it came from somewhere. And therefore, it must have some element of truth. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And so for our show today, let me start there. This is what I'd classify as a feel-good bar theory. What is a feel-good bar theory? You sit in some pub somewhere discussing Kenyan politics, and then somebody comes up with a theory that makes everybody feel good. Nobody has produced a single shred of evidence to support their theory, but it makes everybody in the pub feel good. And therefore it flies, and everybody goes with it. And before you know it, this theory has been spread outside that pub, far and wide. This is what I believe happened. Instead of kizungu mingi, I will tell you just one very important fact to note that completely rubbishes this theory and proves that it is false. Just one thing. And it is this. When Raila Odinga became very influential in the government of Uhuru Kenyatta, who was he taking over from? If your answer is Deputy President William Samoei Ruto, that answer is wrong. And I'm afraid I can't reveal the answer to that question on this public channel. It's in my latest weekly intelligence briefs, number 19, which is now out. Let me jog the memories of those who have been on this channel for a long time. Most of you know that I had retired from political analysis. I had ridden off into the sunset, hoping to do other things forever, for the rest of my life, and never again to return to the turmoil and danger of politics. Anyway, my comeback story, the story I did to come back into politics, was how the deputy president had fallen off with President Uhuru Kenyatta. This actually happened sometime in 2016, between mid-2016 and late 2016, before the controversial 2017 presidential elections. And as usual, people rubbished what I had to say. They thought I'd lost my touch. Kumekucha, get out of here. How can you say Uhuru and Ruto are not talking? Where did that one come from? Just go back into retirement and stop confusing Kenyans. Anyway, my point is, there is no way that story is true that Uhuru is playing Raila, because Raila did not take over from Ruto. And I'm talking power games here. Raila, in fact, took over from somebody else who was also very instrumental in the handshake, in making the handshake possible. That's a huge clue I've given you, but let me just leave it at that. Now, the latest weekly intelligence briefs has a lot of Raila in it, including facts that many Kenyans don't know, most of them highly sensitive. And so, it is very important that I clear the air, over my position on this man, Raila Odinga. You know, it's very interesting. Just the other day, a handful of weeks ago, a handful of months ago, I was being called a Raila Odinga sycophant. Now the latest is that very many people on this channel are sure I've received an envelope from Sugoi. But that's politics. Raila Odinga is a politician, and politicians are politicians. Let me just leave it at that. However, if you are to give me a choice, which politician to go with, of all the politicians we have in the country, I would not hesitate. I would go with Raila Amolo Odinga any day. And with good reason. No other Kenyan, living or dead, I need to repeat that, no other Kenyan, living or dead, has done more for Kenya than Raila Odinga. And that is a fact. Hate him or like him, that will always remain a fact. You know, the legacy of a man are the things they do that stand the test of time. Let me give you a quick example. You know, politics is very emotional. A man called Mwai Kibaki was hated, he was loathed by very many Kenyans. A vast majority of Kenyans did not like Mwai Kibaki. Because first of all, he was not a politician. Yeah, but that's a story for another day. And the truth is, as Mwai Kibaki left power, many Kenyans were happy, relieved that man has finally gone. And the truth is, Mwai Kibaki did a few unforgivable things, mostly connected to the 2007 chaos in Kenya, after those elections. But Mwai Kibaki did one thing that has stood the test of time. He did magic with the Kenyan economy. He put the country in a position where for the first time, we were almost self-reliant. We did not rely on foreign aid or borrowing from the Chinese. Amid all the other Kenyan problems he never solved, he left us debt-free. And for that, Mwai Kibaki's name is firmly in the history books. He'll always be remembered. That is something he did that stood the test of time. Raila Odinga has done a lot of things, not just one. He has done a lot of things that will stand the test of time. The new constitution, which we enjoy, not fully implemented, ignored sometimes by politicians for convenience, but Raila Odinga gave us, was the Kenyan most responsible for giving us a new constitution. The civil liberties we enjoy today, just visit other African countries, and you will know what I'm talking about. No other Kenyan has fought longer and harder for a better Kenya. None. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Raila has paid a very high price. The man still walks with a slight limp. That was a fracture. That was not treated on time. A fracture on his leg inflicted by state goons. And I can go on and on and on. But I don't want to sound like a Raila sycophant. Bottom line, this man's place in Kenyan history is guaranteed. He is a living legend. In fact, I was reminding Club 1999 members about a very emotional video I did, before they announced the 2017 presidential elections. A video which, when I take in even today, brings tears to my eyes. Folks, Baba is special. But having said all that, I am a political analyst. Those who come to this channel do not come to listen to my tributes, emotional tributes to Raila Odinga. They don't. All those Kenyans living very far away from our dear country in the diaspora and very busy, still find time to come to this channel. And they don't spare the available time to come to this channel to listen to me praising Raila Odinga. They don't. They want to know what is happening in Kenya. The reality, balanced analysis. And I try my very best to give them just that. Now I can hear somebody asking me, Chris, if you're so balanced and not controlled by emotion, why are you not analyzing the way the Odinga family wants to snatch away the inheritance of the widow of the late Fidel Odinga, son of Raila Odinga? Good question. Now, there's some family issues that are very deep family issues, that it is impossible to take sides, impossible to analyze, unless you understand the inner workings of that family completely. And by the way, this is my view. I could be wrong, but this is how I feel. And always remember one thing. The very untimely and sudden death of Fidel Odinga on January 4th, 2015 is still a very raw wound in the Odinga family. Very raw. Indeed, I don't think there's anything else which has happened in the Odinga family that has been so devastating as the loss of the heir apparent, Fidel Odinga, in circumstances that to this day are still not clear. In my view, Fidel was special, and Kenya was robbed of somebody who would have made an enormous impact in Kenyan politics one day. Anyway, I have absolutely no doubt that current case has nothing to do with the money and has everything to do with the legacy of Fidel Odinga. I am human and I feel for the Odinga family. And I don't see any point in analyzing something like that. Yes, Raila is a public figure. Yes, the Odingas are a public figure. But hey, there has to be boundaries. What value will analyzing this fiasco add to Kenyan politics or to Kenyans? Only those who have something personal against the Odingas would have joy in analyzing something like that. Yeah. And even if Raila Odinga was my worst enemy, I would still have exactly the same position. You have to have empathy. This was something very serious, that most of us in our entire lives on this earth never have to go through. But the Odingas have gone through it. Anyway, in my latest weekly intelligence briefs, I go into great detail about the power that Raila Odinga wields and used to try and kill this story, because it was supposed to be the front page splash in the Standard today. But the newspaper had to be recalled. It was already printed. Copies had to be destroyed and the front page changed. That is the power this man, who has no title in government, has in Kenya today. Like it or hate it, it is a fact. Now you can see all the information you need to join the WIBs in case you're not yet a member. And we have something new. Somebody called Hans, a follower of the Kumekucha brand, last night appealed to me passionately to introduce a one video option. You're not in a position to join weekly intelligence briefs, but you're very interested in a particular video. That option is now available, and I believe you can see the information on your screens right now. Hans, I believe you're taking in this video. If you're not the first person to take advantage of this offer, tutaonana. Just kidding. Folks, I take this opportunity to rededicate myself to analysis that is for a better Kenya and nothing else. I'm not interested in envelopes from Sugoi. I'm not interested with siding with any side. I just want to give balanced political analysis without favoring any side and completely ignoring my personal emotions. And that is what I endeavor to do every day. And thank you for your support in return. And I pray that you continue supporting me as we try against all odds to fight every day for a better Kenya. If not for us, for our children and our great-grandchildren. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.